Do we have another presentation?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. House Resolution number 156, commendation of Yukio Yoshikawa and McKinley Car Wash. This resolution is offered by Representatives Ward, Brower, and many others.
Representative Ward.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the adoption of the resolution.
Thank you. And Representative Brower.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded. Discussion, Representative Ward.
Mr. Speaker and colleagues, if I ask you how many of you have had shave ice at Matsumoto Shave Ice, probably all of you would say yes. But today I ask you, how many of you have had your car washed at McKinley Car Wash? Let me see a raise of hands. McKinley Car Wash. Okay, hands down except for a couple of neighbor islanders maybe, Mr. Speaker. And that's why we're here today, to honor the owner of the oldest and the biggest car wash in the state of Hawaii that's been around since 1963. Mr. Yoshikawa, will you still stand? Please stand, please. You've seen all the hands. You've seen Speaker Suki when he greeted you earlier. You said when he was a young man and you were a young man, all of this started out. That's how long ago it happened, and that's how good your service has been.
Yes, I was young one time.
So were we all, Mr. Speaker. So were we all. But it's about all of the service that you've done to the small business community. When you started out, you had just 8 employees. You and your brothers bought out the lot in 1963. You worked hard. You're 91 years old, and you told me in 25 days you're going to be 92. And if all of you have been there recently, he works 12 hours a day, every day of the week. Mr. Yoshikawa, and you're hiring now over 70 people. You started out with 80, you got 70 people. Most of them are immigrants from Micronesia, Samoa, and the Pacific Islands. Can we give him a hand for doing that hiring for small business? For immigrants. For hiring the immigrants and doing what otherwise sometimes is very difficult for immigrants to get a job. Mr. Yoshikawa is not only an exemplary job creator, he's also a role model for his employees. He has advice for them as well as the young people in his life, and he asked for 4 things that they would remember to be good citizens. He said there's 4 things you got to do. First, get the best education that you can. And later we'll find out how his daughter and others have got a master's degree from using that advice. Second, to be honest and friendly. And by the way, Mr. Speaker, he's never been in this Capitol before. So you know he's an honest and friendly guy. He's never given us any money. He's an honest and friendly guy. And for all the taxes that they've paid for the last almost 50 years, Mr. Yoshikawa, thank you for helping contribute to our renovation and the beautiful place that we are. Number 3 advice is surround yourself with good and trustworthy friends. I know you said after your brothers put your money together, there was a trustworthy friend who then loaned you the money to top off what otherwise was the purchase of your Kapiolani premises. And lastly, and I think for all of us, this is a real role model, don't be afraid to work hard. I repeat, don't be afraid to work hard. 91-year-old man working 12 hours a day. You are an example for all of us, Mr. Yoshikawa. His success is attributable to not only himself, but also his family members. And I'm going to yield to the representative who represented, I think, before the realignment of the districts, Representative Brower, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Representative Brower.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, when we think of modern-day Hawaiiana, the memories we grew up with, we think of Kamaki's Rainbow Drive-In, as mentioned earlier, the North Shore's Matsumoto Shave Ice, Wahiwa's Peterson's Upland Farm, and of course, McKinley Car Wash. McKinley's motto, one all legislators should live by: sparkle, shine, smile, repeat. Kama'aina are passionate about their cars, and I've read hundreds of Facebook posts by McKinley's fanatical patrons talking about Car Butcher Day, pampering my wife's ride, royal treatment for my Ruby, big pimpin', getting my dragon wagon cleaned up, and Alejandro is getting a bath. A strong work ethic and providing jobs for many hardworking local residents will be one of McKinley Car Wash's many legacies. 13 years ago, Willie Kelly Polo was age 64. a Waikiki resident, and had been working at the car wash for 36 years. He told the Honolulu Star Bulletin, "You look at the company and they get good benefits. They get profit sharing, paid vacation, a medical plan, paid holidays. So we have those things for later on, because you can't work forever." He added, "This kind of job is not for just anybody. You gotta like the job because it's up and down. You gotta put up with the boss, and he gotta put up with you. You gotta go with the flow, watch each other, and stay focused." Mr. Speaker, as a child, the visits to McKinley Car Wash were exciting for me. In 2006, I even used a picture of me taken at the car wash in 1970 in one of my brochures. I was standing next to the orchids. Members, I'd like to introduce the others who made McKinley Car Wash such a success story for our small business community. There is Mr. Yoshikawa's wife, Lillian Yoshikawa, if you would please stand. She has ran the office and provided administrative support. And you may sit down, please. Son Max Yoshikawa, if you'll please stand. The youngest of two sons who helps with the business. Max has been there since 2008, while Craig, the oldest son, started in the late 70s. And Craig and his wife Karen are in the gallery. Could they please stand? And members, may we please recognize them? Also on the floor with us is daughter Donna Gordon, if you'll please stand. And she has a son, David, and daughter Gail Humphreys, if you'll stand, and she has a daughter, Aiko. And now, if Mr. Yoshikawa and all of his family members with us on the floor, if you'll please stand. And members, may we please recognize our honorees.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes, Representative Ward.
I need to footnote one thing about the McKinley Car Wash. Please be seated. Do you remember when there was the Star Bulletin and the Star Advertiser would tell us who's running for office? Before that was the case, you could go to McKinley Car Wash and see all the bumper stickers of everybody who was running plaster all over his barrels. So you were actually a beacon of who's who in politics. Even though he said he's never been at the Capitol, he never did political stuff. You were a bulletin board for all of us, sir. A bulletin board for all of us. So with that, Mr. Speaker, it's a great honor. And if anybody has a favorite memory that you would like to say, I invite you to speak at this particular time. But otherwise, Mr. Yoshikawa, your good works, your car wash has not gone unnoticed. Thank you, Speaker.
Yes, thank you, Representative Ward. Further accolades? Fine. Yes, Representative McDermott.
Mr. Speaker, I'd just like to amplify what the representative from Hawaii said about the economic opportunities that they've provided. For years, this was the guys doing the hard work out there were all Samoans. And you can see as our community changes, the microcosm of our society is larger. The Samoans have now moved on, and the next generation of new immigrants here from Micronesia are now filling most of those spots. And I've just been there recently, and the Max over here, he was out there wiping the cars down with the kids, and I say kids, but some of them are older men. But I think you're a CPA, right? He's CPA out there wiping cars. So that tells me there's a lot of money in that car cleaning business. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Well, he watches the money. All right. Further accolades, members. Yes, Representative Matsumoto.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't normally stand up, but as I didn't know this presentation was going to be today, but I have in my wallet coupons to McKinley Car Wash and was wondering if I could still use them. But it's just, I mean, it's great. It's something that I had in my wallet without even planning, and it just is a testament to what you are in the community. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Representative. Further accolades? If not, then we're going to be calling for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Okay, then we're going to have, can we have Representative Ward and proceed with the certificates and lays, please? All right, members, before we take a recess and Ward sits down, I was going to say we have another honoree, the Senate President up there. Let's give him a hand up there. All right, thank you very much. Sergeant at Arms, you please escort any of the guests that may want to come down. And so we'll take a short recess to honor the honorees. Recess.